And hello again. Time for some more dueling experiments. I'm going to be a bit more methodical with the way that I do this one. I've been through Facebook and collected together a bunch of different dueling tips from people who volunteered stuff that they found useful. A lot of them are quite different, actually. Some of the ones I've seen contradict each other, like, oh, best to use mouse, no, best to use keyboard. So, I'm going to try them all equally and see what kind of results I get. Who knows whether this will actually be useful? It depends. It could depend entirely on, what browser or what computer you're using. For the record, I'm going to do all these with Chrome on a Windows laptop. What is this? HP something or other. It's not bad, It's just, it's a regular laptop. I'm going to do a separate video where I try dueling out on different browsers. I think everyone is unanimously agreed that Chrome is the best, but it would be cool just to have, a set of different results that you could compare. Plus, I want an excuse to download Opera and Safari and try some exciting new browsers, so I'm going to do that anyway. But this video, is just going to be like clicking, tapping, rhythm techniques, stuff related to the things that your hands do on the mouse or the keyboard, not hardware or browser experiments. So, first tip that I have on my document comes from Snitch Draconist Snidget in PM Dueling Club, who says, I feel like a radio announcer reading out letters from readers, but no, the tip is, use a mouse, okay, second click on the first 3 letters should be quick, and the last 4 letters, the second click should be longer. Second click on the first 3 letters, okay, I get that. And the rings should be the same size, but accuracy on letters doesn't matter. Okay, it might take me a few tries to get hold of that one. It's a little bit specific, but I know what is being suggested. Interesting. Okay, so it's the second click that's important. On the first 3 letters, it should be fast. On the last 4, the click should be longer. I'm assuming that means slower, or does it just mean hold the mouse down longer? Okay, let's try this. Quick. And then long, the second click. Okay, the second click should be longer. Oh, hi, Magic. The second click should be longer, but not necessarily slower. I think I did that wrong. Let's try this again. Okay, Oops. I'm not getting this at all. Sorry. The last 4 letters, the second click a little longer. See, that almost seems to me to be the opposite of how it should be, because the blob moves much faster on the last 4 letters. Second click on the first 3 letters quickly. Okay. Yeah, I might be doing something horribly wrong, but I don't understand this tip, I'm afraid. Whenever I try to do the second click longer on the last 4 letters, the blob just rushes off without me, and then I wind up horribly behind, and the duel just dies. Maybe Snitch should demonstrate that one for us, because I'm not doing a very good job of it. Let's see, next tip. Nettle Hallow says, I do better if I hit the keys really hard. The spells where the letters are most centered don't get the best scores. Okay, so that supports Snitch's theory that accuracy doesn't matter, which is also what I said in the last video. I got that from Snitch originally, so this is, me acting on the same tip, basically. Anyway, hit the keys hard. Okay, so we're back to keyboard. I like this. I feel bad. I feel like I'm doing my laptop a horrible injustice by whacking it like this. Okay, 125. That's supposedly, I think 125 is the new minimum for open duels. It's the new 140. So 125 is okay, average, nothing special. Okay, 1, 2, 7. Hitting the keys hard, considering I'm normally a keyboard dueler, hitting the keys harder than usual doesn't seem to be doing much different for me than it normally does. Hello, Magic. So maybe it's best on a desktop. I'm not sure because my laptop keys are already pretty sensitive. So, let's see. Tin Phoenix Hex. I was a mouse dueler, but I switched to keyboard. Yay! Chrome is better than Firefox. Yes. The circle for second click is smaller than it used to be. Yep, I found that too. Heartbeat rhythm in clicking the letters should be consistent. Ha, that's why I always fall down. As well as the diameter of the circles with each letter. Click earlier, just before the light reaches the last letter. Okay, so do we click earlier on just the last letter or all of them? Let's try this. Okay. So, more or less what I did last video. Heartbeat rhythm, small circles, and click early on the last letter. Oh wait, but this is actually pressing because we're doing keyboard. Okay, do. 1, 2, 9. Eee, tongue tying. Well, that's it's better than the other 2 spells that I've done on here. So in this session, last night while I was making my first dueling video, or should I say, after I made the first dueling video, I went on to do a second one. I probably won't publish it because it was mostly crap, but towards the end of it, I was actually getting, you know, spells consistently in the 130s. I was actually starting to get the hang of it. Now I've kind of gone back to 120s, so I'm not sure if that's because I'm experimenting or whether I've lost the knack or both or neither. Oh well, let's try this one again. Okay, so small circles, heartbeat rhythm. 1, 2, 7. Yeah, I don't know. Next tip. Crow! Crowy, crowy, crow. One thing that helps me when my spells get too bad, I force myself to say tick and dip to get the time between clicking a letter for the first and second time right, and somehow always manage to pull my spells from 120 to something to 130 something. I could do with that. Okay. And I'm not sure how fast I should be saying this, but let's try. I'm going to sound like a right idiot doing this. Oh well. No worse than I did when I tried to do the heartbeat yesterday, I suppose. Tick and dip. 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 113. Huh. I think maybe that was a bad go. When I look back over these, I'm going to see so clearly what I was doing wrong, but at the time it's really hard to figure out what you're doing badly, so I'll be like, oh, of course it was a bad score, you weren't doing this, but now I'm like, what's gone wrong? I can't tell. Moral of the story, no, really, if you can get hold of a screen capture program, I'm using Cam Studio, it's free, and I only had to fiddle about a little bit to get it to work. But yeah, get hold of a screen capture program and then just record yourself doing duels, play it back, and see if you can figure out whether you're doing anything wrong. Because when I played back the first video from yesterday, it was so obvious how badly I was doing the circles, like the heartbeat thing. Oh god, I was speeding up and slowing down in the middle of the spell. The circles were all different sizes. It was absolutely terrible. But at the time I thought, oh, I'm doing this quite well, and then I watched the video and I was like, no, you were not. So maybe that could be useful for improvement. I don't know. See, I find that it takes me too long to say that, and the circles are always on the way down by the time I click them for the second time. Am I saying it too slow? I don't know. Maybe it should be tick and dip, tick and dip, tick and dip. Ah, okay, yeah, I'm going to stop that before it turns into something really bad. and dip, tick 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 and dip. Whoa, that was loads better. Okay, Crow, I'll grant you that one. That actually worked. Now I've got to try and figure out what I did different that time. Tick and dip, 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 tick and dip. Well, I'll feel less like an idiot saying this if it means that I can get 130 something every time. Tick and dip, 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 tick and dip. I'm now trying to figure out whether there's like a thing you can say that helps you figure out how long to leave it in between presses, but the time that it takes for the blob to get to the next letter is really irregular. I mean, look at this. Okay, so 1, 2, dun, and then dun, dun, and then suddenly whoosh, whoosh, and then slow. Yeah, well, I don't need to tell you guys how stupidly irregular this thing is, because that's what's causing us all problems. Right, next tip. This tip that I'm reading out came from Wisp and Crow, because the heartbeat suggestion was Wisp's, but the wording is Crow's. She put this tip in Helga's army to help out people with the new dueling system. So it says, yeah, try a heartbeat rhythm. Concentrate and center the circle when you click each letter for the first time. When it's not centered, you lose a lot of potency. Okay, so that actually... Well, I've been going on about how accuracy doesn't matter, but I actually can't tell. I've just been going off what other people are saying, but Crow here says that actually centering the circle is very important. I actually thought this might not be the case for anyone else, but under the old dueling system, I could sometimes be way off a couple of letters and the spell would still be in the 140s, but if I did the circles wrong, then I would never get a good spell. So, I don't know, maybe Pottermore kept that up when they made this new dueling system. I would like to know who the hell programmed this, by the way. I want to see the coders responsible for this, and I want to have a word with them. Right, so what tip are we trying? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. Right, so make sure you center the circle. Oh yes, and I forgot to read out number 3. Click each letter for the second time a bit before the circle gets largest, and keep changing the time you wait during this step until your spells get as strong as possible. Okay, so Crow's basically advising us to experiment, which is what I'm doing here. And keep changing the time you wait during this step until your spells get as strong as possible. Yeah, which is what I've been trying to do. Just so far I can't figure out what exactly is making them better. Okay. Okay, that was a glitch. Huh, that's weird. 2 cats. For a minute I thought I was dueling myself then. I'm going slightly crazy. It's only day 2 of dueling experiments and already this system is driving me crazy. Okay, so center the circle and click each letter for the second time a bit before the circle gets largest. Yeah. Which is more or less the same as how it worked under the old system. It's just that now we have a really irregular rhythm to deal with on top of everything, because Pottermore loves us. Okay, 1 3 1, that's good. I'm not doing tick and dip anymore just because it's hard for me to juggle multiple tips at once. Presumably there is some ultimate combination of all of these things that I'm trying, which will, when brought together, will produce a 145, but my tiny little brain is not enough to cope with all of these things at once. I'm not very good at multitasking, so I'm forced to try only 1 or 2 of these suggestions at one time, and that's why my spells are still in the 130s. That's what I'm telling myself anyway. That was crap, because I thought that those blobs were pretty well centered, actually, and Now I'm being told that that was only worth a 127. Thanks, Pottermore. You know how to destroy my self-confidence. $128. This is frustrating. I feel like I had some kind of a dueling slump that I went through in like the later stages of the first House Cup or something like that, where my dueling scores were just all over the map. And actually it was tips from Crow that helped me out to get back up to the mid 140s. When I say mid, I mean between 140 and 145, not... Anyway, yeah, so Crow helped me out on that occasion, and it was actually, like I just said, it was the rings that were doing me in. But yeah, the problem with this system is that there's no, like, it's really hard to pin it down to a single thing that you're doing wrong, because A, no one understands the system properly to begin with, so we don't understand how it works. B, it's glitchy, so you could do everything completely right and there would just be a glitch that would throw it all off. And C, so many variables. And now we're told that you don't even need Flash to do dueling. That's a turn up for the books. What is producing this then if it's not Flash? I heard that Watch Queen had a theory that dueling now runs on, what was it, Dark Magic, Children's Tears, and HTML5. I like that. I think that is entirely true. I think they're not just any children's tears either. They're the tears of frustrated preteens who didn't get a date for the ball. That's what's fueling our new dueling system. Okay, so for the sake of experimentation, as is the name of this game, I'm going to go disable my Flash. No, wait. Sorry, this is what I did wrong the first time. I actually need to go to Chrome plugins, that's right. I did this yesterday, messed around with it for a bit, and eventually figured out how to disable my Flash player. There you go. No more Flash. Let's just check that. Oh, wait, or is it this one? Download critical security update. I'll do that later. Okay, let's download both Shockwave and Flash, since I was under the impression that they were the same thing, but what do I know? Okay, refresh. And we've got a duel request. Okay, so now I'm going to do sort of my regular dueling style, but with Flash disabled, and let's see if it makes any difference whatsoever. I'm pretty sure I remember Hummer saying that disabling Flash helps her, so that's why I thought that this might be worth trying. I haven't actually experienced any problems with Flash, but that doesn't mean that not having it would be a bad thing. Anyway, experimenting. Now to twiddle my thumbs. 0. Well, I can't tell if that's a regular glitch or whether that's a not having Flash induced glitch. And now my network seems to have died.